What's going on, everybody? Doc from Average Gamer, guys, back yet again. More Halo Wars 2 action, and today bringing you Light the Fuse, complete mission walkthrough, gold medal, all optional and bonus objectives, and Phoenix logs. So this is the third mission, Awakening the Nightmare. Sorry for a little bit of delay on getting these out, but we are going to wrap this up. And as always, kicking this off, we're going to show you exactly what the objectives are. So this is a good chance to pause, take a look at them. If you're still trying to work through these missions or need a little bit of help knocking these out, these are what they are. So you have to discover each giant burster, destroy the flood bases, prevent abominations from reaching the salvage drills as your optional objectives, and then your bonuses are fight back the flood tentacles. You got to do that 10 out of 10, and then destroy flood forms with the mega turret. So for the majority of this mission, I'm actually going to fast forward through it pretty quickly once I show you the initial setup here. And again, as always with these guys, I'm playing this on easy. It's the best way to knock out not only the gold medal, but actually also get the optional and bonus objectives and be able to do them all in one fell swoop. Obviously there are achievements tied to these, so that's really the purpose of these, beyond just giving you a guide on how to kind of walk through the mission and complete it. So we do want to get set up. This mission's actually really interesting. I had a lot of fun with this mission once I kind of figured out the strategy and how this ended up setting up. I really enjoyed this mission for the sole fact that you can't actually build any power generators. You have to go and actually kind of like harvest your own power from these crystals. It's a little tedious, so this mission does drag on a little bit, but it was a pretty cool concept. I really did enjoy this mission. It has a lot of different wrinkles. This is finally into the Awakening the Nightmare campaign where you actually start to get a good portion of building options. You get a good portion of the base and powers and everything unlocked, so it is pretty nice. I'll say just up front, the biggest tips here are going to be you need to move around and collect this power as quickly as you can, because time is in the essence in this one, although we did take a good portion of time to complete this and still were able to get the gold medal with really no problem. The other thing for this is you're going to see me kind of work around this inner circle, a majority of them, and knock out quite a few of the power crystals in here. Don't for any reason leave this inner circle until you've gotten all of these. The other thing to note is that the power that you're collecting power to get these drills up and running. The same power that you're collecting, you're actually using for your base, for your upgrades as well. So it serves a lot of a dual purpose. Don't do what I'm doing right here, which is to run out here and expand, because that's going to kind of start the flood to make their attack. I really do think you can stay in the inner ring, do a good portion of collecting, build your base up a little bit, get some things kind of a little bit better set up for you, and then kind of start to venture out. I will say the other big tip that I have for you guys in this one is get that war console going, get the Arbiter, get him up and going, because the tag team of the two hero units that you have, they're absolutely brutal. They really are. They're great. They do a ton of damage. They actually do a ton of damage to these shards, power shards that you have to pick up, and they really kind of hold their own. Specifically Pavium, he has always been really awesome. Really enjoyed having him in this mission, and just being able to use him overall. But that would be kind of some major tips up front. And then, like I said, the rest of this mission pretty self-explanatory. Move around the base. Obviously you have to defend your base, but if you set turrets at each of the locations, they should really be able to handle most of it. The other thing that you're going to want to do as quickly as you can is actually build the mega turret. The reason for that is because it does need to kill the flood forms. You're going to get quite a few waves of them actually attacking, but the more chance that you have for the mega turret to actually destroy a bunch of the units, specifically the ones here at the beginning that are pretty soft and pretty squishy, is a good technique to be able to get into and to be able to use, just to make sure that you hit all of these optional and bonus objectives. That is one that you can't really control per se. You can't really have any effect over it beyond just simply building it, getting it established. And I wish, knowing what I know now, I definitely wish I would have gone ahead and actually run that and had that thing built up first. It absolutely destroys the tentacles, and it really is actually very helpful throughout the rest of the mission, but also knocking out the abominations. Speaking of the abominations, I know that's going to come pretty late into the mission, but that is one point that's probably one of the hardest optional objectives to end up actually getting for a couple reasons, but we'll talk about those when we get there. Like I said, for the rest of it, just move around the map, kill all the flood that you can. Absolutely. Use Pavium, use the Arbiter, roll them around, pick up as much power as you can, use the power to actually power up your base, get yourself set up into a position, get everything you want upgraded before really using it to kind of use for the drills and get them established. You do really need to explore and kind of take a look at the entirety of the base. The other optional bonus objectives really need you to destroy specific things, take down flood bases, and build your own flood bases. It's really kind of nice. You got this kind of triangle setup that if you really move to the bottom left and right hand corners with two separate units and then kind of sweep them up in kind of a pincer move along the right and left hand sides all the way up to the top, you really should have no problem knocking out all of the achievements or all of the optional and bonus objectives incorporated with this. You see me there using the mega turret. Absolutely, like I said, that should have been one of the first things I built after a couple supply pads and the war console, to be really honest with you. You see I'm going to get the honor guard going here. I'm going to get him upgraded. I'm going to get the rest of advanced logistics and all that stuff because it's pulling off the power that you're picking up. I definitely recommend get all that stuff set, get yourself set, get your base set, get the units that you want set, use these leader powers, get those all upgraded. The mines, as always, are super helpful, so use those, get them set down, and just kind of move around. So that big spore right there is one of the things that you have to take down. Those are pretty nice because you're going to see they're pretty well marked on the mini map. They're the kind of the bigger circles with smaller circles inside of them, so you can go ahead and take care of those. Tentacles, obviously you do have to kill 10 of them. Pretty easy. You're going to get at each of the spore areas, you're actually going to have 4, I believe, so you have the chance to take down quite a few of those. Locusts are pretty good at knocking them out, but you see the mega turret's actually got great range for this mission, so it's definitely going to get in there and deal some pretty good damage for you. As you see me using here, and I know I'm fast forwarding through a lot of it because it's pretty redundant for the rest of this mission, but you do have a Phoenix log right here in the very bottom left hand corner, so make sure to grab that. Actually right near one of the flood bases, which you do need to take out. Four flood bases overall, which is actually really nice because the flood isn't really going to mess with a lot of these bases. Being the banished, you can actually set it up and get yourself cloaked if you get to headquarters 3. So a recommendation I have, they won't be able to see you, which is really nice. There's the second flood base down there in the bottom right hand corner, so make sure to get over there and take that out. That is just a mini base, and you will find a few of them are mini bases. I think actually only one of them is a full base, actually, the one that we took first. So kind of do recommend move down to the bottom left hand corner first if you're going to prioritize anything. But you see me here really kind of just having 2 split options to get these mini bases going to grab the power. What I've ended up doing is I really run Pavium just about by himself. I have the Locust there with him just because they have pretty similar range, so make sure to use that, get that set up. And then the other side of it, I have the honor guard and just a bunch of banshees. And I'll be honest, this was a really effective way to do this. The honor guard moves so fast, and he does really good damage to the ground units. A lot of the flood aren't actually able to hurt or even attack the banshees. So that's one positive thing that you have there. And so the team aspect there works really nice because the honor guard, he essentially is just there to pick up the power for you. The banshees just move around. That whole group moves very fast. They can clear a lot of portions of the map. And then banshees, once you get them upgraded, you get a couple air levels up. They do a ton of damage anyways. So I really like this strategy. I thought it worked out really, really well for me. Again, Pavium and the Locust are just great. You can definitely kind of diversify yourself a little bit. but I really didn't feel the need for a whole lot of anything else, especially on easy mode here, when you're really just kind of sweeping the map, just knocking everything out. You see we've got that second base pretty much already built up, ready to go. We're just using the power we have to kind of upgrade everything. Like I said, I would probably save some of the power here just because you really don't need it. Just upgrade the things that are important, upgrade everything that you plan on using. And like I said, I would focus specifically on air at first, but like I said, you could build a foundry, you could get some wraiths going. They're going to be really good against the flood as well. So as we continue around the map, just grabbing up all the rest of this power, like I said, if you do this and you make a good sweep, you shouldn't have any problem finding any of the rest of the bases. Shouldn't have any problem knocking out the different giant spores that you got to take out. Really none of that. The one thing I will say that you really do need to focus, you're going to see that from time to time there's going to be a timer that starts, and it's going to wind down and tick down a time basically showing you when the next flood attack is going to happen. If you have a good setup at the initial location right around the drills with turrets on every side, you get a pretty decent starting army as well. I would just keep them all right around there to protect the drills and protect your base. On easy, you should have zero problems. All that stuff, they will be able to take care of them. And a lot of times you'll see Pavium and some of the other units, if you split them into two groups like I did, they will actually go in and knock out and take out a lot of the stuff and a lot of the waves of flood that are coming in anyways. And there you can see rupture pressure coming, and that's what will release the additional flood. And just like you've seen in Terminus Firefight, it's going to actually show you the pathing of where they're coming from, which is pretty nice. So again, like I said, here you're just kind of ticking through, knocking out all the bonus and optional objectives, grabbing a bunch of power. One thing to note is I did get to a point, because I was upgrading so many things, where I thought I might actually run out of the ability to pick up power. I was pretty low on the amount of crystals here, all the way in the right hand side of the map, kind of near the top. You got your second Phoenix log, so don't miss that. But there was one point where I realized, I was like, man, I'm pretty low on power. I'm kind of low on these crystals, and I still have to get enough power reserve to actually be able to build up and finish the drills. What will end up happening is, if you do get to that point, you will find that some of the crystals will just respawn, so you have the capability to go pick them back up and clear the rest of those. And so don't fret about that. Like I said, you can use the power as willingly as you want to be able to upgrade everything at your base. I misspoke earlier. You do get a second base, a full base. So you've got one in the very bottom left hand corner, you've got one kind of in the top right hand corner that you can grab. So as long as you move one of those two initial directions in order to get those things going, I think you'll be absolutely fine. Supplies, energy, all that stuff, power, once you pick it up and once you get a lot of the stuff upgraded, you're going to have an abundance of resources anyways, which is really, really nice. I accidentally made a crap ton of engineers, so don't do that. Really was just trying to replace some of the Banshees that I did end up losing, but I think it was a good setup overall. So at this point, we're just about finished. We're going to get the last of the drills activated. We're going to defend from these floods. You can see the dotted lines of them coming in. Salvage drills are going to be activated. You got to stand by. Here's the part of this mission that can get pretty frustrating, and it's going to be fighting the abominations. We talked about it a little bit and mentioned it a little bit earlier into this mission, but the toughest part you're going to have with this isn't because they're difficult to destroy. It's more so because you have such a slow, or such a very minimal window of reaction to be able to attack against these abominations and actually take them down before they get to the drill. The silly part is with this is they don't actually even have to do an attack. As long as, if they even walk up next to the thing, they're basically going to do the damage that they say they're going to do, and you'll find out that you'll end up losing that optional objective if that happens. So what you'll see at this point is it's very much into defense mode. So you're going to get a lot of waves coming. You really have to protect the drill through the progress point. what I did here is just kind of moved a few units around just to kind of help protect the drills. Nothing else honestly should make it through your turrets, even if you have just a few units close, so they should be just fine. At this point, hopefully you've got enough power that you can upgrade some of these turrets as well. But the biggest thing to focus on here, and you'll see the cutscene kicking us in just a second, is the fact that you're going to get these abominations. They're going to come in, they're going to basically spawn in randomly, and they're just going to attack and they're going to walk straight through. So the two strategies I found, here's the cutscene right here. Two strategies I found is, as much as you can, get those mines dropped right all around that thing. And in the entry points that they're going to come from. And again, they're going to come from the left-hand side, the right-hand side. They're also going to come from the top two portions as well. It seems like the first set of them, the first wave of them, if you will actually come from the bottom. That's just how it seemed to happen for me. You see me here. I've got this one walking in, and I've got a ton of units shooting it. I've got a mega turret shooting it, but it seems like the mines are the one thing that really take it down. I've actually got that second one over the left-hand side where Pavium was. Luckily, I had mines set there. I had Pavium there, and with the mega turret shooting it, we were able to take both down. So that first initial wave, you're going to get two of them. And again, it's kind of a crapshoot, but you got to pay attention to and try to have your defense set up. Now, this is one thing, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not complete this on the first run through. I did kind of get caught off guard with a few of them, especially the one that was coming on the right, because it shifted from the bottom right hand side to the top right hand side, so I didn't know where to shift my troops to. You almost kind of just have to get lucky, pay attention to the cutscene, and you can see where it's coming from. But this is one area that if that optional objective is failed, if one of the abominations does get to the drill, immediately just pause it, go restart from your checkpoint, and just start fresh from there. Now the nice thing is it's going to give you a checkpoint right before that abomination comes in, basically right before the cutscene, and then it's also going to give you a checkpoint about halfway between the two sets of those guys coming in, and you'll see we'll have our second set here coming in pretty shortly. So you can actually restart it. It'll start you fresh. It won't take the loss of that optional objective. It won't hurt you, and so you can kind of rinse and repeat. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I had to do this quite a few times to be able to get both waves through and be able to knock this, the achievement for this, as well as getting all the optional bonus objectives in the one playthrough. Like I said, as you can see, the rest of this, the defense is pretty easy. Pay attention to where they're coming from, and you honestly should be just fine. Now here we had, I believe, a toxic abomination just roll up from the top there. You kind of do get keyed in a little bit. You'll get some audio cues and stuff. I believe you get some flashing. I think the flashing things, I might be wrong there actually. I don't think the flashing things show you. I think they just key you in that there are waves coming. You really just have to kind of pay attention to this and almost get a little bit lucky. You'll see here I had another restart for the second portion of the wave. I brought Pavium back down to that area. I'm going to move this guy over here, and I'm just going to try my best again. I can't stress enough the mines and how beneficial they are, just for the sole fact that they do seem to do just a crazy ton of damage against these guys, which is really nice. You can send out a couple of scout troops. I do recommend that as well. Extend yourself a little bit and just kind of see what's going on out there. I think that will really help you. Obviously do have the leader power where you can kind of show an additional portion to kind of get a heads up. This guy gets in here pretty quick, and again, like I said, I mean, he spawned in. He's not taking more than just a few seconds to walk up to this drill. I get really lucky here actually, because I got the same two essentially to spawn. I don't know what that guy, or I stasis that guy, so I kind of got him set up. I ended up getting some mines in here. Luckily for me, he swapped targets and attacked one or two of my units, and then boom, I was able to get everybody over there. That's kind of another additional little technique that you can use, at least to stop one of them, is stasis them as soon as you can see them. They won't move, they won't attack, they won't do anything. You can move your forces over to deal with the first one that you see. Again, we got it on the left hand side, but I'm telling you, I had them from all over. You can do that. You can stasis the one, you can move your forces over, take out one, and then try to move your forces back and take out the other. But again, I can't stress enough, the mines themselves with the mega turret should be able to knock him out pretty good, and Banshees was another real good recommendation for this portion, just for the sole fact that they can move so fast from point A to point B. They're going to be able to move around and help you out finish this thing up. So with that, that's actually going to close the mission out. After you complete that second wave of the abominations, essentially defeat a few more enemies, and it should close the mission out for you. And at this point, you should be good to go. You're going to see this cool cutscene happen here. All this stuff is going to happen, and then we will start to make our way down to the archive, actually, which is pretty cool. So we got 2 more missions after this. We'll have the guides up very, very soon, so stay tuned to the channel if you need help with any of those. As always, really, really appreciate all the support to the channel, and really just enjoy talking with you guys in the comments as being part of the community as well. So once we wrap this up here, we will see our score here, and as always, we did get the gold medal, and we actually did pretty good with the gold medal as well. So you need just south of 120,000 points to finish it out. You see that we got a really, really solid time bonus. We also got a really, really solid combat bonus in this one, which was nice. And I think that's in large part to the 2 hero units. You've got Pavia moving around the map. You've got the Arnagard moving around the map, which are extremely hard to kill. And then the Banshees really didn't lose a whole ton of them either throughout the course of this thing. Obviously, the optional bonus objectives up on screen for you again if you needed a reminder. Like I said, definitely beneficial. Pause these, keep the video here if you're rolling through this, and just kind of use it as a guide to reference. You can also look at these and pause the game, while you're playing it, to take a look at them, to kind of check your progress as well and see if you've maybe missed anything or need to finish anything up. So, as always, Doc from Average Gamer, guys. Really, really enjoyed making these guides, and hopefully they were helpful for you. If they were, please make sure to subscribe, like, follow the channel, do all that good stuff. It really does help us out. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.